Welcome to the Altcoin Hour, your weekly alpha. Yeah, we breaking down the charts, flipping bags, playing smart, from the dips to the moon shots, connecting all the dots. Let's get it. Altcoin Hour.
All right. Well, we definitely got a lot to get into. Hope you guys are doing great. Welcome to the show. Another hand clap for the Tuesday. 67,000. Let's go ahead and say 68. What do you say, LMFG? How you doing, brother? Got a hand clap for LMFG as well. He's with us today.
Doing good. Rock and roll. Loving the weather.
Yeah, how's that weather, man? How's that? It's kind of, weird. We got a little wind. It's a little warm.
Right. Yeah. Now, hey, the farmers know what. I think I said last week. It was like right during that ice storm, or right before, they were turning over the fields, and then we got like 2 inches of rain, and now 70s and lows of the 50s for the next few days. So
yeah.
Told my wife, be prepared for Elijah's coming.
Yeah, I watched this guy, man, real good weather guy. It's a new title, digital meteorologist is what he calls himself, Ryan Hall. And he's real good, Ryan. And he was saying, we got a cold snap coming. One really good one. It's going to cross the country. So we'll see before we actually get into, the spring and things of that nature. So we'll see, man. We'll see. A lot of things going on in the space, LMFG. We were talking earlier before we went on. We're going to definitely get into the Bitcoin quantum threat. Is it really scaring away investors? Big time investors. A lot of people are scaling back. Institutions are thinking about this very clearly now. You got O'Leary coming out, scaring the crap out of everybody. We got a 67.8K, right? Bitcoin right now. We're going to talk about what's going on with that, because you have some institutional movement, but you have the token LMFG, these RWAs. I think they're actually providing us with an additional floor, additional cushion. We'll get into the numbers, because I was looking at the top one, which is, we'll get into it. I want to get into it now. But when you look at the top numbers, when you look at the layers of RWAs and tokenized assets, that's going to be a new cushion along with the ETFs that are going to, I think, probably hold Bitcoin where it is. Now we'll listen to a remark during the consensus. I think it was a group meeting or whatever. They had some events over the weekend. I think you had Denver too, ETH Denver or something like that. But there was a lot of people that are saying 40K is in the target because of all the liquidations, all that liquidated pressure, and no one's buying. Essentially, we'll get into that because I agree with that a little bit. But what's your take on all that, brother? Before we get deep into the report.
Well, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Just got to go with the flow, and let's see what happens here. I mean, quantum computers. Again, I can't see somebody building one of these things and then trying to hack Bitcoin. It's not going to be worth it. It would take, 6 months, 8 months, a year, whatever it would take. Yeah. That's an awful lot of computer power and air conditioning to try to break it.
Yeah.
And realize, I've seen you got Quant in there,
Mm-hmm.
And there's other ones that are out there, Quant Platform, and there's quite a few others. And I believe many of the chains themselves are integrating. I mean, RippleNet is ready to do a cutover to get quantum resistant.
Yeah. Well, you just had an upgrade to the ledger too. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So it'll be fine. I think it's a nothing burger.
Yeah, I think max 15 years out, and I think, when it comes to resistance, you really can't do a resistant anything right now because no one's been officially attacked. And I don't think people understand that. There has to be some attack data. You know what I'm saying? Now, you can simulate it, good luck with that. But until we get an honest quantum attack, which I don't wish that on Bitcoin, but until we get that data, that real-time data of what happened during that quantum attack, I don't think you can really build a wall against it. You can try. With simulations, but what's your take on that, bro? Because I'm in a Reddit group and we were talking about this. A lot of people agree with me. You really can't do the resistance wall. You could try, but you can't do anything without real-time attack data. We don't have that.
100%. And at least the projects are being smart. They're saying they're quantum resistant.
There you go.
So it really means nothing if you ask me. Sorry, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a good sale point, good for marketing. But, and again, I believe you can build a wall, but what data are you using? You're using simulated data, So, you could do the best you can, but until someone gets attacked, until Bitcoin receives a good, missile to the side of the armor, that's the only way we're going to learn what just hit it and how to prevent that from happening again. That real attack data, that has to be, in the fold. But I'm loving the actual attention. We'll get into what O'Leary said, because I think it's going to scare a lot of institutions away, especially when we, this conversation continues. But we got a whole lot more to talk about. What's up, Jay? Welcome to the show, guys. Abu Dhabi, that actual ETF, let me tell you, the BlackRock ETF is crazy, but the Abu Dhabi, influx, phenomenal. I mean, those guys are so deep, and not only the shares, but the actual funds as well. We get into that because that thing continues to grow. It continues to cushion Bitcoin at 67,000. So we got a lot. We're going to get into this new Bitcoin improvement proposal too. That's actually ruffling a lot of feathers again. They're trying to make Bitcoin more payment centric. And we talked about this, LMFG. I don't think, I don't think you can do it, but they're going to try this proposal to ram this proposal back in. We'll get into the nuances of it because a lot of people are like, don't do it. We just got inscriptions, we just got, the BRC 20 token standard. This is cool. Don't do it. Well, they're going to try to freeze it out again because they want to make it more payment centric. BTC, can they do that? Is it even feasible, bro? I mean, we have Lightning. I love Litecoin. We have other, side chains and things of that nature, but they're trying to go to the core. What's your take as we move on to the report here?
I just can't wait to see what happens. Yeah. You know what I mean? Over the next couple of years, let's see what happens with this Clarity Act, and then all kinds of things I think are going to change real fast. Like I've been saying, man, I think you're going to see a lot of projects just all get together and figure this out. I mean, I don't think it's that hard. I mean, you got this far, So
yeah.
We'll see, man.
It's interesting.
I'm just DCA in here and there on the blue chips and listening, Like you said, this monad, rocking and rolling. Things change, I think, fast.
Yeah, we just had I just saw some really cool news about Monad. That dev team just got a whole lot more powerful. The developers of Ponder, I think, just merged with the Monad dev team. I want to give a clap to that. That's pretty damn cool. We may get into that. We got a lot. Again, we got to talk about the CFTC and that interaction with the states about the prediction markets. And I think if the states do win this, and I'm going to tell you guys, there's a lot of money behind the states, that can change the whole landscape of the prediction market, arena. So we're definitely going to get into that. We may look at the market to see what's going on. Some interesting little, sectors just popped up as well. But Bitcoin, $67,000. We're going to get into O'Leary's actual remarks on this because he's kind of sparking. He's kind of got a lot of people, frizzled up, I guess I would say. But it's actually relevant, man. Let's get into what he said. So this is what O'Leary is basically saying. The idea that a quantum computer could eventually break Bitcoin is making institutions hesitate. And until this gets resolved, this is from O'Leary, don't expect them to go beyond 3% allocations. This is what O'Leary is saying now. We're looking at $67,000 Bitcoin. We got pretty close to 60. Almost went sub 60. I think we did get to 59.9. I think it did crossover. So we did get that breach of that 60K floor. O'Leary's saying this particular threat that we were just talking about is basically going to, lock a 3% allocation across the board for the next 5 years, essentially, until we get an attack. Now, again, it's 15 years out, bro. So if this is really starting to bubble and percolate amongst the billionaires and these billion-dollar funds, we got a problem, LMFG. I got to get your take on this one more, because let's add this to the fold. Not only Bitcoin, but you have, Ethereum. You have all the altcoins. You have these ETF funds, which they're kind of secluded in their own Faraday cage. But when it comes to the top two, it's a big problem, bro. We don't know how this looks. Now, you got a lot of people that are opposite of the spectrum And they're saying there's no way the quantum threat is this serious. And there's no way, even though the addresses are open, there's no way this can happen. What's your take, bro?
Yeah, and O'Leary has a very powerful voice still. He's got millions of people listening to him. So, and a lot of those are, like he said, the billionaires, the business people. He's involved all over the place internationally. So, ouchie mama.
It's not good.
He's scaring everybody.
He's scaring the shit out of. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's the last thing. We already got the fear in the market. We definitely don't need this because there's a lot of treasuries. There's a lot of strategic reserves. My state, Texas, in November of last year, finally, dived into the actual river. And I think we got a substantial amount, and I think they went through BlackRock. But they're going to be self-custody, and Texas is going to be self-custodying their own strategic, funds. But we're in it. We finally got into it, and then here comes O'Leary with this. I don't know. And you're right. People listen to him. Mr. Wonderful, I believe, is his tag. So, it is what it is. But this is what O'Leary's is saying. And as we move back to the market here, you have Bitcoin. It's doing what it's doing, guys. We're at the 1 hour mark. I'm going to zoom out and we'll go back to the 11th of February. LMFG, and we're talking about the 11th to the 6th. This is a week. And you just look at this graph, bro. I mean, I can't believe this is Bitcoin. It is extremely erratic. The liquidative factors, and we're going to get into the statement too, which is I totally agree with. When it comes to liquidations, it's out of control. Leverage is out of control. This is causing Bitcoin to do the Y2C, essentially. When you're looking at this graph, about 5 years ago, would you have thought that Bitcoin would be moving like this, bro? I mean, just look at this weekly graph here. This is Bitcoin we're talking about.
Right. And as you're looking, it's hourly. So
yeah,
you figured it would have leveled out and calmed down, and just consolidated. But yeah, it's all the news. That you say, Trump coming out there with the world FI, they would have been fine if they left it at that. But them coming out with the Trump coin, the Melania coin, that blew the Clarity Act out of the water.
Absolutely.
150 amendments, and here we go, right, and the banks trying to get their way. Terrible, I think once that Clarity Act goes through, I think we're going to see a big spike, and that's when we're going to get rid of this type of volatility. We'll see, You still got these AMMs out. People set these AMMs up, and they're buying and selling on the hourly, obviously.
Yeah, well, the Bitcoin versus gold argument is dead. Bitcoin, with the way Bitcoin is moving, is dead. That correlation is out of the water. 50% drop since October. Guys, when we were talking about Bitcoin here, it's struggling to break 70K now. And I didn't think we were going to see this. I thought we was going to be cruising around $100,000. That was going to be the floor. Obviously, we're not doing that. Support level is set at $60,000, between 60 and 64. I'm going to go ahead and set a hard support at 60. You have macros that are coming up. U.S. Supreme Court tariff ruling. Everybody's forgetting about the tariff rulings. Could that trigger more volatility? They keep on pushing that. LMFG, let's talk about this, because that tariff ruling they keep pushing it down the road. Are they being manipulated?
And they're only pushing down they're not saying that it's going to be they're not going to judge on it. They're going to, give a note about it. I forget what it's called. And that's all that is. So
right.
Their opinion, they're going to give an opinion paper, and that's it. And that's what they keep pushing down the road. So it's not good.
Well, the revenue did drop considerably. I was looking at the numbers. So, that tariff revenue is not as robust as it was. And then, we got Jerome coming out too as well this week. Some of the Fed chairs, some of the governors are saying we're going to stay put. What's your take on that? Because, that's going to be bearish too for not only stocks. Meanwhile, stocks are just doing the Y2C as well. They're down. Jerome Powell, what is he going to say? This is going to affect the market too. Now, I'm not saying we're going to go below 60, below the actual support level, but this just keeps getting worse and worse for the market. Altcoins are doing what they can do there. And I got to tell you, if there's utility there, I mean, I'm looking at Monad, it's struggling, but it's still 2 cents where it should be. You have other altcoins that are dying. You have DeFi. We're going to talk about ZeroLend too. I think it's ZeroLend, which has shocked me. What's going on with ZeroLend and how they just close doors. Insufficient liquidity. This is a decentralized finance protocol. We'll get to that because I think you're going to see a lot of not only altcoins die this year, but decentralized finance platforms that were not collateralized properly, that were not managed properly. And that's what you see with ZeroLend. We're going to get into that because they just closed doors. Tokens down almost 50%. What'd you take, bro?
Yeah, I didn't see that, but wow,
yeah, we'll get into it.
That's bad news.
No, it is.
Because now you're going to trust any of these lending protocols?
See, that's what we're going to talk about, man. Because, yeah, that's what we're going to talk about.
I mean, and then you look at like what happened with Zcash.
Yep.
Yeah, you're talking 100%, 50% it dropped. That's crazy. And it's overnight when these things happen. That's what sucks.
Yeah.
Liquidity disappears and it's gone, and then the developers just walk away and jump on another project.
No, you're right. Now, just to continue on this particular quantum launch, I want to read this because this is a little bit more insight. This is from Richard Seelan. He says, if quantum actually works at scale, and again, guys, we don't even know how it's going to actually attack. It doesn't just break Bitcoin. This is opinion, but there's some factual, evidence behind this. It also breaks banks as well. So we're just thinking about Bitcoin, the banks as well, right? This could be very catastrophic to the financial system. Is it on purpose? I don't know. We always know you got to tear something down before you rebuild. You got to tear that old house down, bust down the foundation in order to build new. Is this intentional? Is this going to be an intentional implosion? That's just that's a conspiracy thing. You can go ahead and call it Mike's conspiracy, right? But let me get into this a little bit more since we're on this quantum situation, right? Let's cut that off.
Right. You're hitting it 100% because if the quantum computer can break the cryptography, just think what it can do what they're running today. Mm-hmm. Right. And then, like you said, now go attack the DTCC. $3.7 quadrillion per year they move. That's their average.
Yep.
Then you worry about Bitcoin and Ethereum getting hacked.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, it's bigger than Bitcoin.
I mean, go on and on. SWIFT, Western House, Western Union,
bro.
Just on and on. They're a hell of a lot more vulnerable than Bitcoin code. That's for sure.
Yeah, and see this quantum threat, it doesn't have to guess. You know what I'm saying? There's no guessing with this particular, situation. So let's get into this now. Custodies, not only banks but custody, clearing, and sovereign debt as well. The entire financial system, the entire financial stack, is in the crosshairs, guys. So it's just not Bitcoin. This is why O'Leary's probably coming out because he's getting the full Monty when it comes to the info about this quantum threat. It's not just Bitcoin, Ethereum too, banks too, clearinghouses and custody issues, sovereign debt factors, the entire financial stack, and Bitcoin as well. So you're looking at the 20% of the Bitcoin supply could be in the target. It's very scary. Now, Bitcoin isn't uniquely fragile, but it is uniquely upgradable. I love this because we're going to talk about the Bitcoin improvement proposal that they got going through now. That's going to actually remove inscriptions, BRC20, token standard, all that. They're going to pull out the fat, make Bitcoin a little more leaner when it comes to transactional flow in order to make it more transactional centric, right? A lot of people don't like that. Now, I love this quote here. The financial models of the experts we so gleefully discredited are built on the assumption of a normal world, a world of gentle bell curves and predictable deviations. This is why they are so conscientiously and spectacularly useless. That's heavy. That's really heavy. And it's probably not going to sink in on a lot of people. When I read this, I was like, wow. It's very interesting what we have going on here. There's a lot that's going on here. LMFG. We got too much. You try to focus on one thing and then you get hit with another, especially when it comes to investments. So we're gonna move from Bitcoin here. You have 67,000. It just keeps moving like a shit coin. Literally, it's moving like a Solana shit coin, and a lot of people are not liking this. And I'm talking about the billionaires, the institutions. The outflow is crazy right now. Not only with Bitcoin, but when it comes to the Ethereum as well. So let's get into the rest. Ethereum, speaking of Ethereum, is back over $2,000, which is great, for a lot of the stakers, for a lot of the OGs, But the transactional flow is very minimal. Everything is on Solana now, AVAX, Suchain,
Yeah, I see Polygon going nuts.
Yeah, and that's very interesting, the Polygon situation, because they need to do some upgrades as well. They're officially calling themselves a sidechain. Ever since the article that Vitalik released, when he basically excoriated layer 2 technology and said it was useless, we don't need it anymore. Polygon comes out and says, well, I guess we're officially a sidechain, ladies and gentlemen. I thought it was very interesting. Very interesting. And that's the only L2 that I saw that actually came back swinging. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, especially with Amsterdam. They must already know it's going to be a slam dunk. So XRP $1.48. This is interesting because the Standard Charter did downgrade the XRP situation. It's up 5% over the 7-day period, almost up 1% in a 24-hour period. So you see some buyership in XRP. But I want to get into this because we talked about this LMFG. I want to get into this article because I thought this was interesting. It's got a lot of the whales selling. A lot of the XRP whales are selling since this actually came out. Standard Charter, we're talking XRP, slashes XRP price target by 65%. As well, send millions of tokens to Binance. So if you're wondering what's going on with XRP, this is it. Despite the XRPL's enhancements in LMFG, we were talking about those upgrades to this ledger. No one cares, brother. No one seems to care about utility being upgraded these days. Just all about how much money we can pump. Despite these enhancements to the ledger, whale activity is inconsistent. ETF flows challenges XRP's market stability as well. So the ETFs, they're bleeding too as well. Here's the nuances of it. XRP is sliding even as the ledger rolls out spanking brand new features that support a long-framed and a bridgeable network for institutional adoption. That is great, but nobody cares. Now, you can run this across a lot of chains that are upgrading. None of the community members care. Some do in some sectors, some situations. According to CryptoSlave's data, the token has been trading around $1.47, while a mix of fresh supply signals have signaled or have been notating cooling marginal demand and a broader risk off situation. We're talking about turning that investment switch off. This is the behavior that's not only seen in XRP, but across the altcoin landscape. This is the pressure that a lot of price points are seeing. And that trajectory is sending them down into the gutter. Now, at the same time, banking giant Standard Charter reportedly cuts its end 2026 XRP, and we're talking 2026, guys, XRP target by 65 cents from $2.80, well, to $2.80 from the $8 target as part of the broader reduction to major crypto forecasts. So as we move back, to XRP, we're looking at $1.48. LMFG is not only XRP is getting this type of a treatment. You're talking about all altcoins, predominant altcoins, LMFG. They're getting this type. A lot of people are cutting their predictions. They're trimming down their actual bags. They're sending their, stuff to Binance to cash out. And I think a lot of people are consolidating into stable coins and maybe getting yield. That's what I did to get out of the way of the onslaught. What's your take on this, bro? Because, XRP is still top notch. This is interesting though, because we did see a lot of selling on the 15th. It was a bloodbath. This is why forecasts are being, reducted. You see some reductions, not only in standard, but other prediction sectors as well. What are you doing if you're a holder? Especially if you bought at 80, maybe you bought at 70 cents. Are you still holding because you're in profit now still?
Yeah, I just been holding. That's all I've been doing. And a couple of my friends, but they got in later, So they're underwater already. And I told them, I said, you may want to just lock it up. And they're like, oh, I'll just hold it. So, one buddy's down, like almost 100K with it. It's like,
oh my God.
Really? And you just hold,
Jesus Christ.
Moves and stuff. And he doesn't care, again, he's even older than me. And he wants to leave this for his kids, his grandkids. That's his goal, so his thing is 2030. What's it going to be worth in 2030?
Yeah.
So we'll see. And I do believe, and like I've said this many a times, man, there's going to be a dozen or 2 dozen chains that will be used because of blockchain and technology.
Right,
Nobody
right.
did disaster recovery. And it was great because I was watching the H-part thing, and they had a thing under their disaster recovery. You have to realize hundreds of billions, probably in the trillions of dollars that these companies are spending on disaster recovery. That goes away. Yeah. Blockchain is just so amazing. So anything that's here in 2030, I would say an easy 10 times of where they are today. And it'll stable down. And I don't believe you're going to see these Ethereum at 10 grand and XRP or Cardano at, $20 or Solana at $100. I think they're all going to wind up being close to the same price because of competition. We'll see. That's my thinking.
Yeah.
With them going down at $2 from the 8, on all those coins showing up on Binance, I'm sure on Coinbase as well.
Yeah. Binance, the outflow on Binance is crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Quite a bit.
We got Dustin Prince says, I still say Bitcoin. And this is what Dustin was saying. He says, I still say Bitcoin is headed below 50K. This is what Dustin Prince has said. But if you would have told me that something like Zora was at 2 cents, it's hard not to grab some at that price. And I totally agree with that. There's a lot of altcoins right now that are at some pretty decent rates right now. They're going to come back. But when do you buy? Because I don't think we're seeing floors. I really don't. I think we're going down even more. But that's interesting. Below 50K, yeah, that's crazy. This space is going to look really wacky at 48,000 or even 50K. The altcoins are going to be extremely decimated. And I think that's when you're going to see a lot of them that are going to perish. Especially if there's no protection mechanisms, no infrastructure, development, no acceptance or facilitative matter for RWAs and tokenized marketplaces that are coming up. A lot of ecosystems are going to have to be able to actually, allow their users, especially if you got a wallet, to hold these metals too, because you're going to see a lot of tokenized metals that are going to hit the markets too as well. And I think you got to take advantage of that at MFG, and then the prediction markets too. You got to take advantage of that. Every ecosystem should have a prediction market because it's going to be the norm. That's instant volume. That's instant exposure. You'd be foolish not to take advantage of that, going forward. So it's very interesting. Now, when it comes to the Clarity Act, now you have one of the CFTC chairs. He says that we are on the cusp of enacting crypto market structure bill, which we're not going to see this year. I'm sorry. But if it happens, the manipulation, this is what he's saying, the manipulation in the crypto market could drop by 90%. So what the hell is in this bill, LMFG? That it could knock manipulation down 90%. What do you think it's in this bill that can do that? That is some heavy talk, bro.
Yeah, I wish I could see the whole bill. I don't know how we can get a hold of that. Because it's like I said, I think there's over 150 amendments on it.
I want to see the language.
Yeah, same here.
Because that's a huge drop, bro.
Take the word of these guys or whatever they come up with. They're the ones seeing it, And I don't know.
I want to see the language.
I
got to see the language in that. That is amazing. Just that statement alone. It's like, what are we doing? Who gets axed, right? Who gets the axe? Who's going to jail? I mean, 90%, bro. Cutting the manipulation.
They just locked that dude up from SafeMoon.
Yeah. 100 months, I think it was. Yeah, he deserved more. He's such a liar. I remember that guy. Very interesting. Dustin Prince also says, I've been in crypto since 2015. Are you OG like me? Absolutely. one thing is for certain, when you say there's no way into it will that. Well, I'm sorry. When you say there's no way it will do that, okay. Crypto always finds a way to prove us wrong. You're right. We say 48K, no way. Crypto says, watch this. Hey, I don't want to watch that. Dustin, 48K, I don't want to watch that. That's going to be ugly, but do we need that corrective measure? That's the thing. Does crypto need this? LMFG, because I know recessions are good. A lot of people think recessions are bad. Recessions are good. You need a good recession. You need a good reset. You can't, everything doesn't go up forever. And if you retard that cycle, that's when you're in trouble. That's when you get these massive bubbles, when you retard the recession cycle. And that's what's been happening in our country. We retarded that natural cycle of recessive activities. That's why we have this huge bubble. The AI bubble is rupturing. You have the tech bubble. It's a circle jerk. Come on, seriously. It's a massive circle jerk. So yeah. 48,000. Ooh, that's going to be rough, Dustin. It's going to be rough. I don't know what your take on that, LMFG. 48,000 is rough for these altcoins.
I'm hoping that we do this dip back and forth between 60 and 70 and don't go much lower than the 60.
No, absolutely.
And then somehow they figure this yield out with the stable coins. I think that's the only thing that's holding this up in the banking committee right now.
No, it is, yeah. Well, see, they still have other, situations after this that they have to go through. Securities, data, because we already know tokenized assets they're going to be regulated as securities, But there's still a lot more to go, and we're stuck here. Here's the headline. Clarity Act is turning into a proxy war over who pays Americans for holding digital dollars. That's what's holding it up. You were correct. Dustin says yes, and if it hits 50K in 2 years, it will be 250K. It needs to prove it can move without COVID money. Absolutely, Dustin. That COVID monkey is still on our back, and we haven't corrected from that. That's what I'm saying. They've been preventing the COVID correction. And this is why the bubbles are crazy. This is why we're going to hit the ground so hard. But you're right, LMFG. This is what's holding it up. So was Charles Hoskins, was he right? 2029?
I hope not.
I will tell you this, the way these RWAs are taking off, it's absolutely amazing. We'll get through the countdown. I want to show you guys what these tokenized assets are doing. They're blasting off. And I think they're providing a cushion for the market as well, along with the ETFs. I don't know how long these ETFs are going to provide this cushion because of the quantum threat. It's really shaking up the ETF funds, but it's not scaring Abu Dhabi. We're going to get into that. They don't give a shit. They just keep investing. They've doubled and quadrupled up their holdings when it comes to this BlackRock ETF vehicle. We talked about Ethereum. It's back down below too. It's just teetering as well. Shitcoin activity. XRP, just kind of watch out, guys. The whales are starting to move, so we may see this go down to $1.15 pretty quick if they continue to move. Binance, BNB, $620. I remember when this thing went to $200 a year and a half ago because of the mass exodus due to the court cases when it comes to CZ when he was basically excommunicated. This thing is still printing, so I'm not really worried about BNB. We're worried about the Iran wallets and the fired investigators that found those Iran link wallets, that AML. That's kind of shaking up the spot. That's the breaking news there with Binance. So we'll see. The CEO says there's no problem here. We did our own internal investigation here at Binance. We have our own internal lawyers. We did the investigation. Our own internal lawyers said everything was okay. LMFG. So we're good, right? We're good. Their internal investigation said everything is okay. I don't know.
I was cracking up when I seen that. You got to be kidding me. Why would you even put that out there?
Yeah.
Makes you look pretty stupid. And then with Binance, I tell you that I remember buying into that. It was like $30 or something. Yeah,
it was so low. Yeah, man. So if you're an OG, you would have had to held that for a long time. But that's what holdership. That's what it does.
That's what I did.
Yeah. A lot of investors, they don't know how to hold. Let's go ahead and face it. They don't know how to buy low and hold. They know how to buy high. They know it because this is what we're seeing from Michael Saylor. This is what the big boys are doing. They're buying at the top. So everybody thinks that's the way to do it. No, that's not the way to do it. You buy low and hold. Make sure you're holding something that's worth holding. Obviously, do your research. But you buy low, you buy early, and you hold. And then you sell the top. Not financial advice, but that's how you do it. That's how you make money. You don't buy at the top and hold to the bottom. That's not the way to go, guys. I'm sorry. That's just, very rarely you make money that way. I'm sorry.
And when you do take off profits, don't buy Kishu Inu or any of the Inus because you lose your profits real quick. From experience, people.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Solana, $84, 3 cents here. We're going to rip it through here because I got to get to this Bitcoin proposal in this Abu Dhabi. Crazy investments into these ETFs. I want to get into the statement, to the Bitcoin statement about this 40K, and what he's saying is very true when it comes to what's going on at the top. And it's not just a quantum threat as well. Solana 84 is very, very concerning there for you Solana holders. Will we go below $80? We shall see that very quickly. Tron is moving like a stable coin once again. We already know. We talk about Justin Sun, and basically he owns almost all the supply. So he's controlling the movement of Tron TRX. It's really sad. It's a nice ecosystem, but it's really sad how it's propped up. No one trusts it. Dogecoin 10 cents. Will it get back to 11? Probably. Will it be a part of the X payment system? No, absolutely not. Elon and the CEO and his lead on this, payment system. No crypto is going to be involved. No payments in crypto. None of that. There's a third party that's going to be doing that. Well, as far as X, as far as Elon's platform, there would be no crypto trading within this payment system. No cash tech, none of that. So we finally got clarity on that. So Dogecoin not going to be a part of the thing. He wants to send this to Mars. That's what he was trying to do, or put Dogecoin on the moon. It was never a monetary thing when it comes to Elon. It just got taken way out of context, LMFG. And we talked about that. Bitcoin Cash almost back to $600. This is crazy what Bitcoin Cash is doing. It was $200 last year. So if you did buy that, you made some massive profits there. Cardano, 28 cents. Hyperliquid, 29. A lot of people are pissed off at that perpetual exchanges coin, LMFG. Lots of people are blaming the devs for this. I don't see how you can blame any. It's a perpetual exchange. This is how this it's going to run with the rest of the Bitcoin lemmings, I would say. Chainlink is a great buy, LMFG at $8. This is easily going to be well over $100 coin. This Chainlink is irreplaceable. I want you guys to understand. Chainlink is irreplaceable within the DeFi infrastructure of our space. It ain't going anywhere, just to put it bluntly. And you're getting a hell of a deal. Because once we do, post clarity, post language, a lot of these, including Quant, are going to take the rightful place within this top 10. And it's going to be an eruption. Wouldn't you say that, LMFG? Chainlink is pretty much irreplaceable.
Yeah, yes, sir. And I always say it's in the name. And now I believe Cardano Foundation just signed up with them. So also look at Chainlink. Look at all the chains that are connected to them. Those are going to be the ones running your real world assets, your payment systems, and all of that. And it will be able to go cross-chain through Chainlink. So I think you're 100 spot on where this thing, go 10 times from here, easy. Once Clarity Act goes through and all that traffic starts coming out, because you got to realize that traffic is going to be real easy to go cross-chain through Chainlink.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So rock and roll.
$8. I just keep buying it. I just keep buying it because the substance. I buy things with substance, guys. It's just me. This is not financial advice. But it is irreplaceable. Canton. It's trying to get up there to 16 cents. Get to know Canton. There's number 16. It's going to move up to as well. Very interesting ecosystem there. Very interesting foundation there. It's going to be used.
Real interesting. It's up at number 16 already. This is brand new, right?
Yeah, brand new. Yeah. I've been telling you guys about Canton. Very interesting situation. Monero is starting to get traction too. I'm very interested in XMR. It's an OG privacy protocol, but you see a lot of people that are using this protocol right now. Zcash had a catastrophic crash, and a lot of that it was self-inflicted. But Monero XMR is ready to take on all of that backlash. Everybody that left Zcash pretty much went back to XMR and other privacy protocols as well. Stellar, XLM. Stellar needs to really speed things up when it comes to finality if they really want to be a part of payment systems. It's we talked about that in the recent video. LMFG finality is a big thing because I released a Monad video. They're king of the crop. 800 millisecond finality, 400 millisecond block time. They're king right now when it comes to payments. King, especially point of sale, real world point of sale. They're up there with Visa and MasterCard right now. You have the other chains that are way behind Monad when it comes to finality, when it comes to block time. Solana as well. They're not sub-second. So Stellar is way behind. Polygon, I think 5 seconds finality. That's not going to cut it, LMFG. So a lot of these actual blockchains need to really upgrade very quickly or they're going to get left behind. It's unfortunate. A lot of this is happening quick.
From experience, I told you, I went to the children's place and they used dial-up modems. So every time somebody swiped a credit card, it took anywhere from 25 to 35 seconds for that thing to print out a receipt. In the cities and where it would be heavy traffic stores, on certain weekends, especially Black Friday, we would bring in 20 cash registers on podiums that they could walk around the store. They would line up all around the front door just because it took 20 seconds, 30 seconds to get that thing through. It was crazy. I put that in digitized. They had to retrain their staff because now that receipt printed out in 5 seconds and their sales went through the roof. And the worst part is when it comes to retail, what happened, people would stand in line and they would go there on lunch break or whatever. They don't have the time and they just drop the product and walk out. Now you have to pay an employee to touch that product and put it back on the shelf.
Right.
It becomes an overhead. And that's why you see all these, what do they call them? Where you go and you buy it at the depots and stuff. Because the stores just say, screw it, and they pretty much throw that product away. They'll sell it for pennies on a dollar.
Yeah, clearance, yeah.
Yep, the clearance places. Yep. It's crazy.
No, it is. And this is where we're headed. A lot of brick and mortar, they're looking for facilitators, and they're starting to work around these chains because they're looking into the space and they're like, these guys aren't moving. They're just got their thumb up their asses. They're not upgrading. We need faster settlement time. Let's go ahead and build our own. So you have a lot of them building your own?
I didn't know Stellar had an issue there.
Yes, they got a pretty big issue.
Into it, so you could still use this, but now you're going to have to maintain that somewhere. You're going to have a liquidity pool, and you're going to have to put money into it. And retailers don't want to do that. If anything, they want to go to the chain and make it save the money. Now they go to sub penny for each transaction instead of paying 15 or 20 cents to MasterCard. I mean, it's huge.
That's right. Yeah. But see, there's, the existing chains, besides Monad, they can't facilitate this. And the workaround is very, very intuitive. There's a lot of steps that happen between once you swipe that card and once the settlement is complete when it comes to stablecoin cards and crypto transactions. It's very tedious. It's a non-custodial situation at most times. So all that verification of funds and things, the routing is crazy. So it has to happen quick. And a lot of these chains can't do it. They're way above, a lot of them are above 5 seconds, LMFG, and that's not going to cut it in retail. It's not going to cut it. You need sub-second finality when it comes to this because this routing is crazy with a stablecoin card or crypto card. Now, Visa and MasterCard, they have on-site, variability when it comes to the funds because the banks have the funds in-house. So when you swipe that MasterCard, that verification is quick. You have on-site funds there. Yeah, that verification of funds is very, very quick. So, yeah, that's the problem that no one's talking about. And everybody's building this tech, but they're not paying attention to what the tech needs to facilitate. We're not in 2020 and 2021 anymore, right? This space needs to be taken seriously. And just like a lot of retail, if they don't see it, they're just going to build their own stuff. They're going to work around the antiquated systems that are existing. So that's why I like the new tech that's coming out this year. They're built for payments, built for stablecoin transactions, built for RWAs. And speaking of RWAs, let's go around this up because I want to get into this volume. It's crazy. It's starting to take off. And a lot of these chains are not built for this. It's crazy. Stellar, we talked about Stellar, 16 cents. World Liberty Finance, that USD1 coin is going through some major turbulence right now. it may not exist next year, especially after midterms. It's going to get a little crazy with World Liberty Finance. But Zcash, again, that thing was at $700, guys. Complete collapse within that dev team. Who knows where it goes? It may even go back to 2016, early OG prices. Who knows? And Age Bar, we're rounded up 10 cents up, almost 13% within the last 7 days. And Litecoin, which actually breached, it's almost down. I think it's down 50%. Litecoin was well over $100, and then all of a sudden, huge implosion there. And then AVAX as well, very darling blockchain, $9. I think you're getting a really, really good deal on AVAX as well. But hand clap for the market. We gotta get some positivity going on here, LMFG, because a lot of people's portfolios are bleeding. I want to get into this young man. So this statement is kind of sums up the sentiment here when it comes to not only Bitcoin going to, and this guy right here is talking about 40K. This is why. Okay, this is why. Let's get into this. It's very interesting.
We expected kind of Bitcoin stay above 70,000 for around 3 weeks, but we think we might actually go now lower and take out the low because there's no real buying happening. And usually when you see these cascading liquidations, it's not the end of the downtrend, it's actually the beginning of a downtrend, right? Because as a trader, you're really naturally long, and when you lose money, it's not that you suddenly say, oh, let me put more money into crypto. It's rather the opposite. I need to find a level to get out. And so that's kind of the scenario where we're in right now.
And that is a major level of fear. What you take, bro? I think he summed it up pretty much, the nature of the market right now. Nobody's buying. People are selling.
Yep. And it's true. And I'm just hoping that it doesn't go much worse than that 60K, 55 maybe. And then we got to get the Clarity Act, man. I keep saying it. We got to get it, and that'll turn the consensus around with the big boys and the institutions.
I think you hit it on the nail. And that fear and then the liquidation. That's Bitcoin is in derivatives heavy, like it's never been before. I mean, the longs and shorts, all this. I mean, it's crazy. That affects not only Bitcoin, it trickles down. So. And then, that scares retail because they're coming in with $100, $200, maybe $1,000 trying to make some money, and they get decimated. They're not coming back.
And I got a conspiracy for you. All of a sudden, if you noticed.
Hold on. We got to get the music. We got to get the music. Conspiracy time with LMFG. Let it rip, bro. What we got?
All of a sudden, we're seeing an awful lot of people down talking. Mm-hmm. Oh, crypto. Oh, it's going to get hacked with the quantum computers. This guy. Oh, yeah. Once it starts going this far, we're going to pull all liquidity out. And all of a sudden, it's all over the place, though. Are these guys getting paid?
Yeah, you already know paid fade. That's a real thing. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, to buy the banks. This way it could make it look better, with them fighting the Clarity Act. And everybody realized Congress is on recess right now, again.
Yeah, of course.
If they don't get this done by the end of April, that's it. They're done for the year.
Well, it's so nuts. It's crazy. And then you got midterms, too. That's added pressure right there because it's not looking good. So does that just absolutely, puts a wall against does it stop the crypto agenda? Does it completely halt everything with regulation, right? If the midterms go the wrong direction, you know what I'm talking about? Does that completely halt everything? Does everything that was established here get rolled back after 3 years, after Trump's gone? I'm a long-term thinker, and that's where my mind is at right now. So do I just make as much money as I can right now before the rug gets pulled? That's something that everybody should be thinking about. Because, this is real talk. Everybody should be thinking long term, not only with your bags, but with the infrastructure. What the actual, post language or pre language or no language. How does it look when Trump is gone? What if we get another Democrat that, takes the presidential office? Does all of this progress get rolled back? It's a discussion that needs to be talked about because you always have to have a plan B, LMFG, or a plan C. You can't just go in it with a plan A and expect everything to go, the way you want it to go. You need a plan B. And I think everybody needs to figure out a plan B, especially if midterms goes the absolute wrong direction. Am I a little bit, is this conspiratorial? Am I tinfoiling? I mean, am I going too far with that?
Not at all, brother. I always had an ABC, and sometimes where it was, $1 million phone system we were moving, I had to have a backup in case the truck crashed. If that truck crashed while I'm trying to do a cutover on a 4-day weekend and I got no switch, I'm dead in the water, And so we always had like a small switch, that could handle all the 800 numbers, and I could at least reroute them to other offices or play messages. We're unable to answer your phone at this time, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, right.
Always had backups. And my worst backup was reprogram all the switches on the network and just route all the 800 numbers and local numbers to other offices. So there was always 2 and 3. And I've used them. I used C, When you go to that third, it really sucks. And believe me, you're lucky you get 4-hour naps.
Yeah, man. Plan B.
Go to plan C.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll do a plan B and a plan C, especially in this investment. It's especially because I'm into stocks too as well. I'm doing really good in stocks. But I have a plan B and plan C there as well. Doing very good in metals too. Copper has been a godsend. I'll just say that. It's been a godsend. And I rotate a lot of that into crypto, into, my good plays as well. So I'm back and forth. I gyrate when it comes to investing. I'm not all in on one situation or particular sector. You got to be, diverse. You got to diversify, right? So, and you gotta do a little, arbitrage every now and then as well. But I digress. I want to go into that. I want to get into something here because this is very relevant, and we'll get back. He had a great point. The young man had a great point. I do subscribe to what he said. Now, as far as DeFi, look, DeFi is solid, right? We're going to get into Zero Lend because that thing collapsed. I'm still bullish on DeFi, but that is very disturbing what happened to Zero Lend. We're going to get into that. Right now, currently, total value lock, $95 billion. The armor there's no chink in this armor at this point in time. Yeah, we did get fluctuations within a lot of a graph of movement as well, especially coming off on October. October was a fantastic mark. 158 billion. Let's go and say $158 billion. We topped off last October. When it comes to total value locked in DeFi, stablecoin activity has been phenomenal. LMFG, not worried about DeFi as a whole, right? TVL still robust. AVA is still leading the charge. Morpho is up there at number 6. So we're talking about protocols, leading protocols. Morpho on 32 chains, leading the charge. It is down actually 2%. But, this is how it works when it comes to the mass exodus. These platforms get hit the hardest because a lot of people are getting yield. So they run, Welcome to the show, Mom. I'm happy to see you. Hope you're feeling well. Now, I want to get to the additional cushion that no one's talking about that's percolating. RWAs. Now, LMFG, let's look into this because we're looking at $20 billion worth of RWA on-chain market cap. This has grown substantially since July of last year, LMFG. Now, I talk about tokenized assets profusely. This is my thing. And I think if you have an ecosystem, you better have a marketplace that caters to RWAs. I'm sorry. You have to have that, or you're not going to do very well going into the next 10 years because everything is about to be tokenized. And if you don't have an embedded RWA marketplace, tokenized asset marketplace, that's hosting metals as well as tokenized stocks and assets, real estate, things of that nature, you're going to lose a lot of volume, a lot of opportunity. Now, if you just can't do it, I understand if your developer group just can't do it, you're not up to par, and you refuse to, go this direction. I totally get it. It's not for everyone. Yeah, it's very tedious. A lot of regulations with this. They're going to be security. So I totally get it if a lot of devs aren't going to go this way because there's a lot of compliance factors here. But I think you're going to benefit a lot because this is where the world is going. Now, LMFG, some of the top ones, the carbon credits and environmental assets, they're topping the mark here, which is, what do you think about that, bro? That's kind of crazy, bro.
Yeah,
carbon credits and environmental assets top the chart.
And we're starting to dig up the coal again. I don't get it.
What's going on, Benji? Welcome to the show, brother. I thought this is very interesting. We're talking about over 115 asset issuers too, because that's growing to the issuers of these RWAs. AVAX is pretty heavy in this stuff too as well. That's why I like AVAX. It's at $9. It's going to get up to $50 pretty quick once, post language. But this is crazy now. Yield wrappers too, RWA yield. You can get yield in this RWA market too as well. A lot of people are, getting yield on their RWAs. This is number 2, LMFG. We're talking crazy numbers with this, brother. Now, I want to get this. Let me see if I can get this. $461 million when it comes to this. And we're talking about exotic RWAs, but 226 million and counting when it comes to RWA lending and private credit. This is your number 2 RWA sector. What do you say about that? Because we always talk about yield.
Yeah, it's major league.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can't wait till this clarity gets done. Like I told you, I'm going to, whatever it costs, because companies will pop up, and I'm going to turn my deed into an NFT and take it from there.
Yeah, get some yield off of it. Isn't that something, right? And get some yield off your freaking deed. Crazy. This has never been possible. This has never been possible until now. It's a great time to be alive. So let's get into this, because this is my favorite. Tokenized real estate. Number 3 within this on-chain market cap. This is where it shines. This is what I love. Now, this is a lot of builders are suffering right now. All right. And a lot of people are like, it's because of ICE. They're taking all the workers. That's very true. That's very true. You got a lot of home builders in Texas that are pissed off because ICE keeps taking their foundation specialists. They keep following the cement trucks to the actual freaking job sites. And they're literally saying, if you don't put a fence around your, construction site, they're going to go in and they're going to take your workers, which is preposterous. It's ridiculous what's going on. But that is affecting builders in the real world. So when and I'm talking structures, complete structures, but that's hurting builders big time. So you're losing $30,000 just on, a foundation that's not improperly being constructed. It's crazy, the money that the builders are losing. So it's a way to recoup this and sell these properties very, very quickly. Put them in these tokenized real estate asset marketplaces just so quick, and you get worldwide exposure. Now, these particular, situations have tokens involved as well. A lot of people don't know that. So if you got a home, you're going to be able to put it in these particular marketplaces. Hell, you'll be able to get yield off of it with these wrappers. This is amazing. This is what I love about DeFi being so robust going into the next 10 years. And there's tokens involved too here as well that you can invest in within these particular platforms. These are the ones I'm looking at because this is where we're going. LMFG, am I wrong? Am I too happy about this?
No, you're 100% right. And I know we keep talking about the yields on the stable coins, but believe me, the banks are worried about that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they're fighting for. Yeah.
Think about it. When I go to sell my house, I'm not going to go to a bank. Right now, I got to go to a bank. I got to sign 50 papers. I got to do all of this. When you do this, when you turn your house, your deed into an NFT, all your stuff gets put on that NFT. No one will have to, when somebody else buys it, they're not going to have to come in here with a surveyor. They're not going to have to do X, Y, and Z like you used to, and then wind up paying, 6% and 8% to the realtors. That all goes away.
We expect
you go click, and your house is sold.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
You're going to click, and take a loan on it. You're going to put it up as equity and take a loan out by just clicking instead of going. It's a nightmare to deal with the banks today. And
no, it is.
They're not bringing that up, but that's one of their major sticking points as well. And I guarantee, like I said, it's in that literature. It's somewhere in them 140 plus amendments.
Where they're talking about, bringing that manipulation down by 90%. I can't wait to see this language. Are they going to make us? Are they going to sign it before we? Nancy Pelosi. That's her famous quote. We got to get it signed before you can read it. It's bullshit. But this is how Congress works. We got to get it passed, then you can read it. No, we need to read it now. I want to see what they're putting in this market structure bill that's going to knock the manipulation rates down by 90%. I need to know what they're doing because that's pretty tough, man. So around this market cap, this on-chain market cap, we got tokenized real estate, talking RWAs, massive movement. You can see the graph. It's just going up. Ever since we hit January, the trajectory is very bullish for RWAs and tokenized assets. You're looking at tokenized crypto funds. It's going to be number 4. Topping it off here, you have exotic RWAs. I don't even know what that is, but that is rounding up the top as well. Top 6 here when it comes to these RWA sectors. I'm going to look more into that. What is an exotic RWA? It's very interesting. You have lending too as well. RWA, you can do some lending and borrowing on your RWAs. This is going to go bonkers in the next 5 years. Whatever platform is doing this, whatever coin that, because there's going to be a coin, because you'll be able to pair it with a synthetic version, and that's how you get your yield. So there's got to be a coin there. Private credit as well, LMFG, and private credit is a big thing in the real world. You're going to have this in your tokenized markets as well. So and they have this linked with RWA lending and private credit. Those are linked. So tokenized stocks and equities, we see that already. It's on Solana. ETH has tokenized stocks and equities as well. Tokenized gold and commodities, I love this. This is what I love, because Tether just announced you're going to be able to get derivatives off of your tokenized gold, LMFG. And they're going to allow their shareholders to actually get derivatives off their tokenized gold holdings. That is nuts. That is crazy. That's something you can't do with physical gold.
Beautiful.
It's amazing. You can't do that with physical gold. Hand clap to that. That's beautiful. And a lot of people aren't going to really partake, which is very sad. Because if you always focus on memes, you're going to miss out on that beautiful situation. That's residual. That's generational income. That continues to build. That's going to support your retirement. Always think residual. So you have tokenized, these are going to round up. And this tokenized funds like T-bills, bonds, money market funds, that's going to round it up the bottom half. So this is an amazing emerging market with the active market cap that's fluent at 14 billion LMFG. So we always talk about RWAs here. We talk about tokenized assets. This thing is taking off. And I think this is going to, be an additional cushion for the market while Bitcoin gets its shit together. I do believe, because this quantum threat is scaring a lot of the funds. A lot of the money is going out the back door because it's quantum threat. So what's your ending take on this? I know you're bullish on this, man, but when I seen this graph, when I looked at these numbers, I am super bullish on any ecosystem that has marketplaces that are geared to facilitate this. I want that coin in my portfolio because this is going to explode.
Right, and you see the money's there and it's coming in, and this is before the Clarity Act, so they were getting their
absolutely pre-language. Yep.
And I guarantee you, they got lawyers all over this stuff. They got it because there's gonna be rules in that Clarity Act that are gonna make a lot of changes to a lot of these chains. I bet they're gonna have to change things, and who knows, register this, that, the other thing. But whatever it comes out to be, it's just think of that.
No, absolutely.
Once it goes, it's going to go. And I still stand by that number, the 7 trillion. I believe once that Clarity Act goes through and everybody's comfortable with this, give them 6 months after it, I don't care, $7 to $10 trillion, I think you're going to see snowball right into this asset class.
Absolutely. It's already happening. Look at the graph, bro. It's already occurring. That trajectory is so bullish, man. And again, you have to do your research, because every blockchain ecosystem, every dev, they're not focused on this. They're not built to facilitate this. The finality timeframes are too slow. The security, your ecosystem has to have robust security, preferably ZK. This is why I like Linea. It's only Yo2 I'm like right now, because they're set up for it. But there has to be security there within the robust security there within the ecosystem as well, for these marketplaces to function properly. Look for that, because those ecosystems, those particular blockchain foundations, they're going to go so high. And it's not about price. It's about the usability of the ecosystem that you invested in, right? Look for the usability. Can it exist outside of the crypto space, right? Because they're going to be labeling all of these ecosystems crypto companies. So can that said ecosystem exist outside of the crypto space? Can it run alongside Visa and MasterCard? Can Target use it for payments? Can Target put their stablecoin card on your chain in your ecosystem, and can it get sub-second finality? If the answer is no, you better fix it, because you're going to get left behind, because that's where we're going, So I'm not saying NFTs are going to go away, memes are going to go away, but when I look at what this guy said, this statement, basically saying that this market structure bill is going to reduce manipulation by 90%. That is a very heavy statement. That means this space is going to change big time. What we're used to is about to go away. We don't even know what it's going to look like, but let's get to this breaking news, because this is a DeFi protocol that collapsed. And this is what we were talking about earlier. Now, there's a report from BSCN. Zero Lend founder announces full shutdown. This is a decentralized protocol, guys. A decentralized finance protocol. Pretty much had everything going for it. Completely collapsed, down almost 50%. Now, there's some comments that contradict the actual, situation, in it being a foregone situation. There's no solution. But here it is, LMFG. Quote, this is the dev. We strongly encourage all users to withdraw any remaining funds, unquote. Now, when I'm seeing that pop up in my TG, and I'm seeing at the bottom that all the comments have been disabled, what does that usually, entail, bro?
Somebody going to jail?
It's a wrap, bro. It's a wrap. It's over. That's what I'm thinking.
What happened to all the liquidity? If it's zero lending, so people are putting money up there. The way I'm understanding, if that the loan ever comes in default, you just get your money back. So anybody up there for lending, did they lose their funds?
Man, I don't,
Oh, this class action suit coming.
You got a big time lawsuit coming. You're damn right. And we're going to get to, I'm going to read the rest of this. And we'll get to some nuances of it. According to the post from its founder, lending protocol, I love lending protocol, borrowing and lending, but I think they just did it wrong. Somebody had their hands in the cookie jar. This is what always happens. I remember this happened to a very old platform that a really YouTube buddy of mine, the Crypto Smith. You guys probably remember Crypto Smith. It was stable fund. This is one of the first ones that I remember that was set up pretty good, but it wasn't collateralized very well. And there was some cookie jar stuff going on. The devs were in the cookie jar. They completely rugged that situation. This was a long time ago. It really hurt Crypto Smith. Got him pretty good. He's not even around anymore because of that. And this is what I tell you, when retail gets bitten by the snake, they don't come back. And they tell all their friends not to enter. This is what I'm worried about. Now, according to the post found by the founder, lending protocol Zero Lend XYZ is completely winding down its operations. So it's a wrap, LMFG. The founder cited reasons as such. The failure of chains supported by the protocol. So number one, they're blaming everybody else. Right off the bat, they're blaming all the chains.
Here's the red flag.
No, absolutely. Off the bat, they're blaming all of the supported chains. Now, Morpho is one of the largest ones that are connected to 32 chains right now. That's like Morpho saying, you know what? We don't have any more money. It disappeared, guys. Blame ETH. Blame Solana. Blame AVAX. This is what this dev has done. He's blamed every supporter chain that has been supporting this protocol. Number two, greater attention from malicious actors. So again, passing the buck, blaming other people for the failure of the institution. He's blaming malicious actors, scammers, whatever. I'll give him that, because we seen a Treasure email that went out to a lot of Treasure, and it's talking about a cold wallet. Did you see that? That email was nasty. It looked very professional, and we're going to see a lot of those tokens dumped this week on the market because a lot of people got drained. And this was a physical letter that went out to everybody that owned a Treasure.
How did they get those addresses, or it was just a blind mailing?
Oh, I don't think it was blind. No, it's very easy to hack these databases. We see it every day. That's why I change my passwords every 3 weeks. I redo my 2FA, everything, because nothing's secure, bro. Nothing is secure right now. These databases are hacked 24/7. So, and here's a third reason why this dev says the high-risk nature of lending protocols. So, first of all, he's blaming all the supporting chains that are connected to the protocol. It's their fault. Then he's blaming scammers as well, malicious act. I'll give him that, because that Treasure letter I saw, that was crazy. That was so legit looking. And a lot of people, fell victim to that. So I'll give him that. The third reason, and again, it's not our fault, guys. that our DeFi infrastructure collapsed. Not our fault that the money's gone. We didn't do anything. It's the fault of Solana. It's the fault of ETH. It's all the fault of the malicious actors, and it's the fault of basically the high risking nature of lending, guys. We're sorry. This is what's going on right now. Now, this is an interesting, quote here from Love Web3 World. He says, Zero Land isn't rugging, it's tapping out after 3 years of thin margins, high risk lending, dead chains, again, blaming the chains, which, there are some dead chains here. Oracle drop-offs, that's very interesting. Hacks and exploits while still telling everyone withdraw now. This, I think he nailed it, bro. This is the real DeFi stress test. And he's right there again. Do you price chains risk, right? Or do you build your own chain? This is what's happening on Monad. A lot of the lending is exclusive, right? You have the linked ones too, the shared ventures as well, but there are a lot of exclusive RWA lending, borrowing and lending and DeFi infrastructure on Monad. Exclusive. That is just on Monad. Do we go there from now? Is that the future? Is it really a risk to spread your DeFi? You need that exposure. You need to go I get it. You can go multi-chain, but you can use Chainlink for that and have that security barrier. You can use Chainlink for that. You don't have to do a direct connection. You know what I'm saying? LMFG, there's Chainlink again. You could put the buffers and prevention measures there. Because when you do a direct connection, this is a problem. But I don't want to blame the chains for this, and this is what they're doing. So you have Oracle risk as well, Chainlink, you have those risks as well. And business model risk, So there's a lot, LMFG, that can go into a closure of a decentralized finance protocol. But I think a lot of it has to do with it's internal. It's so easy for these guys to rug these protocols and then blame the chains, blame malicious actors, and blame protocol risks. What's your take on that, bro?
Yeah, joke. And they may have had that plan the whole time. Yeah. You never know. And it's terrible. There's got to be ways to stop this. I don't know.
Well, here's the complete statement from the dev. This is bad because a lot of people lost a lot. I was reading on Reddit, this one guy had over $150,000 lost in this protocol. He was getting yield, very decent yield. It's gone. It's gone. And I hate it because that guy's going to tell the next guy and that guy's going to tell the next guy, don't screw with crypto, bro. Stick with your bank. Stick with your 0.10% yield. It's safer. It's ridiculous. So here's a full statement. We have made the difficult decision to wind down operations despite teams' continued efforts to rectify the situation. It has become very clear that the protocol is no longer sustainable in its current form. Yeah, with no money, you can't do anything. Co-founder CEO Riker, this is what he wrote, unquote. This is what he wrote in his Discord message here. And I'm pretty sure it's just disabled now. This is a complete message here. It was a whole lot. But he just basically blamed everybody else. He blamed a lot of chains. We're not going to go there. And again, LMFG. This is a bad hit, but I don't think it's going to stop the ship because we've seen this before. And hopefully after the investigations, hopefully there are no internal investigations. Hopefully we get some third-party investigations, some outside investigations into this. And hopefully it wasn't the fault of the devs. Hopefully maybe it was, a hack. It could have been malicious. It could have been something going with one of the chains, leaky code or whatever. It could have been just the risk, too much leverage, I'll let you close this out before we move on. What's your take? Are you still trusting these type of platforms? Do you take this and let this lead you towards, shielding yourself from this from now on? How are you taking this? Because this is a pretty big deal.
Right. I'm not familiar with Zero Lend. The thing is you gotta wait until everybody. When you look at Zero Lend, I want to see all the developers, their names. I want to see BBB write-ups on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to see that kind of company out there when I do this NFT with my deed. I don't want to just go to some project that just started and they say, oh yeah, we got this,
No, absolutely. And
just time will tell. I mean, there's like Proppy is here in the States, but they're only in like legal in 3 states. But this is the full-fledged company.
Yeah.
The whole lot. So far from what we, I'd have to do more reading, I guess. This makes me want to do more reading now. And to any of these companies that come up with this, that we keep saying, do your own research.
You have to, because there are a lot of bullshit DeFi platforms. I'm not going to say all of them are good, but there are a lot of BS ones. Okay, and I guess Zero Lin, we're going to add them to the list. Because I think blaming other chains is BS, man.
You watch. There's going to be something crooked here because you don't come out and say that unless you're not 100%. You're not valid. I guess that's the way I call it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
that's actually coming. You watch.
Absolutely. We've seen that with Gemini. We've seen that a lot. Now, this is the latest from Michael C. League. Now we're talking about prediction markets. That there's the CFTC, the jurisdiction, the states are saying they are not equipped to police prediction markets, but the states are, and I believe, especially Nevada, that's where it started. Now this is what he's pushing back. This guy's saying, "Let's go to court. I'm ready. Let's do it. I dare you." This is what he's saying. This is very interesting. This letter signed by the coalition of 23 senators reflects serious concerns that the CFTC is turning a blind eye as prediction markets offer sports events contracts in violation of existing laws and regulations. This is what Vegas is saying. You have a lot of states that are filing these same motions. They are behind Las Vegas big time. Tennessee is one of them. Texas is like, okay, let's go. We may need to, because Texas is not a gambling friendly state as well. Prediction markets, there's going to be some issues here, and a lot of them are already banned here. But I know they would love to sink their teeth into Texas. A lot of exposure. A lot of people I know a lot of people that I do DraftKings and FanDuel. They've been fighting Texas, still ongoing. Let's get into a little bit more of this because this is very interesting. They're challenging the jurisdiction of the CFTC. They're not equipped. This is what they're saying. We commend the senators for their leadership and urge the CFTC to shut down this contract following thorough, very, very thorough investigations on their commitments to Congress. Now, in respect, they want you to respect, this is what they want, the states and tribal frameworks. They want their respect for these particular frameworks. And it's interesting they brought up the tribal frameworks as well that govern gambling in the United States, unquote. This is the American Gaming Association is who's writing this to Congress. LMFG. So the tribal framework, this is big. So I think it's bifurcated. You have the states, and then you have the tribal frameworks that have been in place when it comes to gambling. Particularly sports gambling is where it's at. Sports prediction markets is where it's at. If you're a prediction market erector, if you're Polymarket, if you're Kalash, if you're some of these new ones, are you worried about this? Because it's a pretty big movement. And you have American Gaming Association saying, whoa, wait. They need to register as gambling entities. They need to pay taxes. They need to be regulated. This is going to change prediction markets. I don't think the CFTC is going to win this, bro. Because now you have tribal framework. You have the tribal institutions. These reservations, these huge gambling conglomerates they're getting involved in this as well. And they're joining this American Gaming Association. What's your take on this, bro? I think this is going to change the markets. I think it's good. I think they need to be regulated.
Yeah, so do I. And 100%. And I'm sure they're going to spend money, get lawyers, accountants, do whatever to set it all up. And then there they go. They got a gambling license. And then there's many states where you won't be able to access it. Because now, like you said, Texas isn't all that gambling friendly. You guys don't have casinos there?
No, but you can't. It's illegal. You got to go across the water. So, when we're gambling, we got to go to Louisiana. We got to go to Oklahoma.
Yeah, so you won't be able to access from Texas.
No.
It's coming.
They got to regulate it. You know what I'm saying?
There's a couple of those amendments are concerning this in that Clarity Act.
Absolutely. It's very interesting. I want this legislation that way we can get access to it in Texas. And I think for every prediction market, that's a huge market down here, and they're excluded from it at this point in time. That's massive volume that they're missing out on because they don't want this regulation.
But you said the magic word, dude. Once it gets cleared and legal, boom, all the states are going to do it because taxes.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
money for the state, so
it's money in the bank. And I'm telling you guys, once this is going through the CFTC, they're going to lose their jurisdiction because they don't really belong here. They don't belong here. And this is what the Gambling Association is saying. What are you doing? What are you doing? This is not even your jurisdiction. What are you doing? And this is where I think Trump dropped the ball with electing these imbeciles because they don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know what they're doing with cryptocurrency. They don't know how to handle the banks. You know, poor Brian Armstrong, he's trying to put, a kink in the armor here, the kink in the gears, but they're threatening to basically implode Coinbase if he doesn't, capitulate. So there you go. And then you have the CFTC doing what they shouldn't be doing. And the American Gaming Association is like, move away. We got this. This is a state by state. This is a government issue, state government issue. Get out of the way. This is gambling, which it is. So once you get the, get the language, I think the true prediction markets, I think Polymarket is going to register. They're going to be compliant. Classy, those are big ones. They're going to be compliant. But these little ones that are popping up, they're going to have to either be compliant or they're going to go away. So it's going to shrink the prediction market. It's going to make it more exclusive. And whoever involves themselves in compliance and layers these things on their chains or within their ecosystems, they're going to have massive exposure. They're going to grow. And then you just add that to their RWA tokenized marketplaces that are embedded as well with the other normal situations that you have within ecosystems. And you grow profusely into the future. You grow because you're set up for payments and things of that nature.
Yeah, it'll you watch. It'll be Poly on the NASDAQ.
Yeah, no doubt.
The IPO go public.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, how much money they start making over the years, we'll see.
So, and we'll end with this because we're going long. We're going super long here. The Fed chair, one of the Fed governors, there's not going to be a cut. So this is what we're saying here. This is what he's saying. Let me read what he's saying. The Fed, Michael Barr signals the Federal Reserve, the esteemed, is likely to hold the rates, guys. They're going to hold them steady while waiting for clearer inflationary data. And I always tell you guys, the numbers are so cooked. This guy's not a dummy. Jerome Powell's not a dummy. They know the numbers are cooked. And I love this last three words, this last sentence here. They are waiting for clear inflation data because they know the data that they received is bullshit. So if they continue to feed these guys manipulated data, manipulated CPI metrics, they're going to continue to hold these rates, LMFG. Only an idiot will go to zero right now. A lot of people are saying, this is the way the monetary system, and I know how it's built. I've studied the monetary system. A lot of people don't understand money. They don't understand. A lot of the congressmen don't even understand the financial system. I don't even think the president does. But in order to, this system needs to print. I get it. That is the coal that you put in the boiler, the burner to make the boiler boil. I get it. It's money. They can't print like they want to. They can't feed the coal into the system because of these high rates. It's too expensive. So this is why they want the rates to go low. I get it. But without proper data, how do you expect for these guys to do their job? I don't know. What's your take on this, LMFG? They're holding tight, bro.
Yeah, I believe he comes out with his notes the end of the week here.
Yeah, he's coming out. Yeah, I believe so. I think I have him here. What is it? Yeah, here it is right here.
But no announcement until March 18th now.
Right.
So we'll see.
They're going to hold him. I don't think they're going to go up.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I realize he don't like President Trump, that's for sure.
Oh, man, why would he? Look at what Trump has said. He said so many really horrible things about this guy. You remember when they were in the construction zone? How he treated him?
And he pulled out the 330 million, whatever. It was a lot more than what he said.
The letter was bullshit. That was like a 3-year-old estimate for a totally different property, construction. I don't know who gave Trump that, but it made him look very foolish.
Yep.
Crazy. Yeah, I feel bad for these governors, these Fed, and I think he's going to come back too. I think you're right. He's going to come back. He's going to come back. He's going to be on the board. Fed releases minutes. I think it's in. This is Wednesday, I believe. LMFG. The remarks or whatever. Some clues to rate cuts or whatever. I don't think he's going to say very much. Is it Wednesday? This guy said it's Wednesday.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I knew.
So it's tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, 2 p.m. Eastern. So we'll probably get a lot of those markups and a lot of that leaky data way before 2 a.m. That's why I know everybody goes on X and kind of predicts what they think, and just to get the likes and all the bullshit, they put on X. And then you get the real, data at 2 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be 1 p.m. my time. So there you go. We'll see what Jerome Powell is going to do. I don't think it really matters when it comes to Bitcoin because, again, there's other factors here. Right. There's other factors there. Didn't get to the Abu Dhabi situation. Didn't get to that. We got to get on to this member giveaway. Back to Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and get back to Bitcoin. I'm going to stop by here real quick to look at it. And it's, again, LMFG. This is where we're at. 60K hard floor support. I don't think we're going to breach 70. We got to get past 70 LMFG. I'm going to take a look and make sure the wheel is populated. Give me your take on this. Do you think it's a feasible floor? 60? Because Dustin was saying 50. The gentleman at Consensus was saying 40K because people aren't buying. What's your hard floor? As you look at this hour chart, which is looking like a shit coin, and it is Bitcoin. Crazy movement here.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that we don't see below 60. 55 the lowest. It goes below that, who knows what's going to happen. Remember, these big boys, they're going to start turning into red real fast. If this thing hits below 55, that would be ugly. 60 to 70, it floats, and if the Clarity Act gets approved, it takes off. If it doesn't get approved by the end of April, 60, 55 in that range. Hands down then. And then who knows what happens, because then we're in the summer months, people going on vacation. You'll see.
Yikes. Oh, man. Well, you have to move properly, do your research, keep an eye on it, especially if you're deep, keep an eye out on what's going on. Most definitely keep an eye on what's going on and be careful with your emails. If you got a treasure, just don't open the email. If you get a treasure email and you got a treasure cold wallet, don't open it. Just don't open it.
Mark it as spam.
Just delete it, anything, because they don't send emails, guys. Any type of Coinbase situation, don't open it. The phishing is crazy right now. The actual stealing of monies right now when it comes to this space. I was reading about a Binance employee that got hunted down and beat up for his wallet information. It's getting a little wacky. So we're going to get into this actual giveaway, guys. So we got the wheel populated. We always do this every week for the members. I hope you like the content, guys. I think CZ's I think Binance is in a little trouble with that Iran link. So we'll see. There's going to be some external investigations. So we'll see what's going on with that. I know a lot of people were fired. A lot of the internal investigators that were very honest about that got fired. So it's very interesting, and I'll be keeping an eye on that. We're going to spin this. Well, we need 3 members, guys, and all you have to do is become a member, obviously, and interact with the content, member-only content, and you get on this wheel for your chance to win. I get 3 winners, and we're giving out some SOL today, as usual. And I always tell you guys, if you want to move to a different currency, let me know. We can do that. Let's go. Let's see what we got. LMFG, you won last week, man. We had some other winners too as well. Look at this. It looks like you coming back up, bro. What is it? Did you grease the wheel, my friend? Look at this. Look at this shit.
Unbelievable. People get things rigged.
Yo, I need to check the wheel here, man.
And I still got to do that. I haven't done it yet, but I got to do it half of the way. I am, dude. Believe me.
No, listen, congratulations. It's not often that you get a repeat winner. This is the first. So, hand clap to you. This is the first. So we have removed LMFG, so we can't get a repeat on this. But this is a consecutive week, bro. Hand clap to you, man. Consecutive week. That's the first time ever that has happened. Very, very cool. Let's go. We need 2 more. And that was a really good spin. So let's see what we got. I think I'm gonna call Tim. I'm gonna call Tim Shea. I'm gonna call it. I think he's gonna be Carlos. No, I think Carlos, yeah, is stopping. I don't think. Okay, so we got Carlos. Carlos Xavier. I hadn't seen Carlos on the wheel in quite some time too. So you are a winner, brother. You know, hand clap to you, man. Hand clap to you. Tim, that was real close, bro. Let's do it. One more. Let's see here. Who do you think is going to be, bro? I'm going to call Bebo. I guess I'm wrong again. I think it's going to be Enchant 987. All right, so I was wrong. I called you, which is crazy. But yeah, that's cool. So we got 3 winners here. So let's go ahead and do a recap. We have LMFG, 1 consecutive winner. Hand clap to you, bro. 2 times in a row, brother. That's pretty crazy, man. Okay, the second, Carlos Xavier. I hadn't seen Carlos on the wheel in quite some time. Hand clap to you, brother. You are a winner. All I need is that soul address, and we'll get these the prizes out to you. And then the last one is Enchant 987. Hand clap to you. So hand clap to the members. We're going to get some more content out for you guys this week. So no breaking activity, guys, as far as I'm seeing here. Trump is tweeting profusely here. He's back. He tweets a lot. Well, I wouldn't say tweet. What do you call that on this program, the Truth Social? What do you call the post? What do they call it when you post? I don't know. But he's on his platform.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, whatever. I guess you can call it a post. 74% chance of the Supreme Court ruling against the tariffs. That's not good, bro. That's what's on Parley Market right now. Not good. So hopefully that doesn't go that way, because if that goes that way, that's not good. Not good.
And one thing I meant to mention, the Netherlands, 36% on unrealized gains with crypto. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Actually in law, done.
Which one? What are we talking about?
Netherlands.
36%
government's
tax?
going to give you a 36% tax on unrealized gains with crypto. There's a bunch of people that live there saying they're getting the hell out of the country, or everybody's dumping their crypto.
Well, you had a Dutch finance secretary. I did read this one.
If you're going to pay the gains anyway, you might as well take the damn money.
Well,
I don't know.
No, you're right. Well, check this out.
Rocking a hard place.
Well, I did read this earlier. It's kind of pretty interesting. So I guess this is an ongoing mantra, 36% tax on your digital assets. So the Dutch finance secretary nominee yeah, this is what you're talking about. Yeah. Coming for your Bitcoin just got exposed as a liar. So she resigned. I don't think it's happening. So she would oversee 36% tax on your digital assets, but couldn't earn or even earn her own diploma. Oh, whoa. She resigned in disgrace for falsifying her documents. So she didn't even have a diploma. These are the people writing this is so right, man. A lot of these leaders and congressmen and senators, they're posers. They're frauds.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And there's people on Twitter. I seen him. He's saying that it's done and it was signed into law and that he's looking to move.
No, anything that she actually did, it's going to be rescinded. I mean, because she just resigned for falsifying her diploma documents.
Can't believe everything you read, I guess.
Well, you got it. This is from Coin Bureau, so I don't know. Double check this. I need to do a Grok check on this. You got to double check Grok too, because Grok lies too. I don't know if you guys know this, but Grok hallucinates a lot. Even AI makes shit up every now and then. So you just got to really do your own research. But this is interesting. This is the Dutch finance secretary who actually put this into place. She resigned because apparently she falsified some pretty important documents concerning her diploma. Oh my!
No vetting.
Oh
my!
Vetting,
I guess.
Poor woman. She's gonna be excoriated. And you don't want to go down like that, brother. Well, closing remarks, brother. We do got 67,000 Bitcoin here. What is your closing remarks? Bullish, or you bearish, or you moving? Or you still participating in DeFi after we seen what zero? I am, just one protocol, but what'd you take, man?
Yeah, just sitting steady, DCA in here on a couple of the, like the Monad and stuff like that, and just taking it easy, not dumping into it, not getting out, yield where I can. And that's it, and I may even go down deeper with my portfolio. But again, I'm long term. I say 5 years from now, anything that I hold that it's still around, I'm gonna be very happy.
I totally agree with that. That's what I've done. Consolidated down, getting yield, and I'm moving, appropriately. So I suggest you guys really watch your emails. If you do have a treasure, be careful. I think they're doing that with all the wallets. Even Ledger, they may be doing it with that. So they're coming after your crypto. It's a very turbulent situation. The losers are trying to steal your gains. So just be mindful of that, and y'all have a good one.